In the last video, I started talking to you about the three different parts of your mind: the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and I'm going to talk later on about what some people call the superconscious mind. But before we go into that, I want to talk about the connection between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, and more specifically, I want to talk about how the subconscious mind operates. The subconscious mind is a vast warehouse. It's not only a warehouse, but it's a reservoir also. And I want to tell you the difference between those two here in just a minute. But the subconscious mind is the place where all your memories are stored. It's where all your emotional memories, your intellectual memories, what would be called your left brain type memories, linear, analytical, education, growing up, learning the alphabet, learning how to add, subtract, learning mathematics, learning geometry, learning whatever it is, English, science, and all these things. These facts are stored in our subconscious mind. One of the ways I like to describe this is that if I started talking to you right now about the Earth tilted on its axis and how it actually makes the loop around the sun and how it creates different seasons and things like that, what it's going to bring into remembrance in your mind. If you have that information stored in your subconscious mind, it's going to bring that information out of your subconscious mind. It's much like the way that your computer operates. Your computer, what you see on your screen and what you deal with and being able to manipulate and input data from your keyboard goes into the random access memory, which is like a desktop. As a matter of fact, that's why when Microsoft came out with Windows and they started talking about that part of it as being the desktop. And right now in your computer, if you go in there and deal with certain things that are on your screen, the icons and the programs that you see on your screen when you first start your computer up, you're dealing with the desktop. And that's what the random access memory is. And the random access memory works very much like the conscious mind. As a matter of fact, a lot of people do believe, and I'm sure it's true, that the random access memory really is a duplication of our conscious mind. Whereas on the disk, when you save something to the hard disk inside the computer, that memory becomes like your subconscious mind. It becomes permanent storage. It's not in the random access memory, or it's not on the desktop. You don't have it up and running unless you've actually told your computer, started that program up, pulled up a document or a file related to that particular program. Otherwise, it stays silently and left alone on the hard disk inside the computer. Well, your subconscious mind operates exactly the same way. Until I mention to you when you learn the alphabet, I could ask you right now a question. I could cause your conscious mind right now with a question. I can cause your conscious mind to go into your subconscious mind and retrieve information. For instance, I'd ask you what was the first bicycle you ever owned in your life, or what's the first bicycle you ever learned to ride in your life, or what was one of the first toys you had. If you're a female, maybe it was a doll. What was one of the first dolls you ever had? What was your favorite doll? See, as I'm bringing this up, you weren't thinking about this just seconds ago. You weren't even thinking about what I'm saying to you right now. But now you've gone to your subconscious mind. You've gone back in there. You've retrieved the information just as if you'd gone to a filing cabinet and pulled the file out on that, except it happens instantly inside of your brain. Your brain functions that way. So the subconscious mind has all this information stored, and it not only has information stored of what you've been taught educationally and academically, but it's where you have the storage of learning to walk, learning to talk, learning language, learning how to operate in your life, learning how to get around, physically get around, and learning how to do certain tasks in your life. So that's what is stored in the subconscious mind. Also, there's emotional storage there. There's emotional memory that's put into your subconscious mind. And that emotional memory, if I was to ask you something about perhaps a loved one that's passed away sometime in years gone by, and I begin to ask you about it, and you felt yourself becoming sad, that's an emotional memory that you have. I remember the day that I graduated from college, and my father told me he was proud of me. It was the first time I'd ever heard him literally tell me that he was proud of me, and that's an emotional feeling. I feel emotional even right now, even as I'm saying it. There's a certain sense of emotion that I feel inside of me. And there's certain things that's happened. There's good things, and sometimes there's bad things that's happened that's been stored in the subconscious mind. All of these things affect our lives, and they affect the law of attraction in our life, and they really determine what we receive in life, what we get in life, because they establish not only factual information, but they establish beliefs. Beliefs have been established within us. Let's say, for instance, a religious belief. If you have a certain religious belief about something, you feel very strongly about it, then it's something that you have really has been engraved upon your subconscious mind, and you've built up that belief. If we looked at a literal diagram of your brain, if we went in and did a scan of your brain and literally got down on the cellular level, what's taking place is that we have clusters of brain cells that come together and cause us to feel strongly about our beliefs, feel strongly about certain things in our life. The only way to change limiting beliefs in your life is to reprogram your mind, start feeding your mind new information. Now, let me say something to you about your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind really does not know the difference between what has been imagined within it and what's actually being communicated to it or being sent by signals through the eye. For instance, vision doesn't take place here at the eye, it takes place back here in the brain. And so literally what takes place when you imagine something inside of your using your imagination inside your mind, you begin to use your imagination. Your brain does not, your subconscious mind does not know the difference between the thing that's imagined and the literal thing as if you were actually seeing it with the physical eye. There's an analogy that's given in this, an illustration that's given in this, and it's a very good illustration of basketball players that were taken from a certain team. They were taken in, and some of them actually went into the gym and they practiced shooting free throws. And they practiced like 100 free throws a day, and they shot those free throws, and they wanted to get that feeling. They wanted to train their subconscious mind to naturally just release the ball, push the ball, have the right arch on the ball, have the right amount of propulsion on the ball to be able to go through and actually make the basket. They took other basketball players and they set them down, and in their mind they had them rehearsing the same thing in their mind, that in their mind they were shooting baskets, in their mind they were making those baskets. And the interesting thing is that the difference between the outcome of the two different groups that were tested was very similar to each other in the outcome, in that their percentages of the group that actually didn't shoot it but they used their imagination in thinking that they had shot, that made these shots, that group and the group that actually physically did it scored about the same amount. They improved on about the same level. So your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the reality of what's really happening and what is imagined in there. This is very critical in creating your future. It's very critical that you understand this in creating your future, because what you're going to do in creating your future is begin to imagine your life of where you want it to be and not where it is now, if it's not in a favorable place right now, not where it is now, or not in a place where you don't want it to be. So we're going to talk about this more in the next video, but I want to get deep into this so that you can understand and comprehend exactly what's taking place, and I want to give you practical applications along the way that's going to help you and make this whole process easy for you. I want to encourage you to go to www, you'll see it just immediately to my left, your right as you're looking at your screen, and go right over here. It says www.powerformations.com, and what I have there is breakthrough cutting edge tools that have been technologically proven to be able to help you in establishing beliefs, establishing the law of attraction, enacting the law of attraction in your life, and begin to give action to the law of attraction so that you can begin to attract the things you want in your life and begin to not attract those things that are not desirable to you, that you don't want in your life. So I want to encourage you to go there. Come back with me on the next video. We're going to dig deeper into this.